He was born with a promise before he was born with a name. An angel appeared to his mother and declared that the child she carried would begin to deliver his people from oppression. From the beginning, Samson was different, set apart, chosen, marked by destiny. But destiny does not guarantee discipline, and strength does not guarantee wisdom. Samson grew up knowing he was special. He felt it in his body. He felt it in the way others looked at him. The Philistines ruled over his people with iron control, and Israel lived in quiet fear. Yet Samson did not begin his story as a noble warrior. He began it as a man driven by impulse. He wanted what he saw. He chased what he desired. And when something stood in his way, he tore it apart. The first time they understood what he was, it happened on a dusty road outside a vineyard. A lion attacked him. No sword, no shield, just claws and teeth. And Samson tore the animal apart with his bare hands. Not slowly, not with struggle. Instantly. That should have been the warning. Power without boundaries becomes dangerous, but instead of humility, strength fed his confidence. He walked into enemy territory like he owned it. He married among those who oppressed his people. He treated conflict like a game. When betrayed, he responded with violence. When challenged, he escalated. He burned fields. He struck down soldiers. He fought entire groups alone. And every time, he won. But victory began changing him. When you win too often, you start believing you cannot lose. Samson did not fall in battle. He fell in distraction. Her name was Delilah, and she did not approach him with a sword. She approached him with curiosity, soft questions, gentle persistence. Where does your strength come from? At first, he played with her. He lied. He misled her. Each time she tested him, he escaped easily. But she kept asking, day after day, slowly wearing down his resistance. Strength can break chains, but it struggles against emotional pressure. The strongest man in the region was undone not by force, but by repetition. Finally, exhausted and overconfident, Samson told the truth, not because he had to, because he believed nothing could truly harm him. He revealed the secret of his vow. His hair, the outward sign of a lifelong dedication. That night, while he slept, the sound of blades replaced the sound of trust. His hair fell. His strength left. And when the Philistines rushed in, he rose like he always had, expecting power to answer his call, but nothing. Then, for the first time in his life, he felt ordinary. They bound him easily. They blinded him. They paraded him as a trophy. The man who once tore gates from city walls now stumbled in darkness. Humiliation is a different kind of battlefield. In prison, grinding grain like an animal, Samson had time. Time to think. Time to remember. Time to face the truth that his greatest enemy had never been the Philistines. It had been himself. Pride had opened the door. Desire had held it open. Carelessness had walked him through it. The crowds that once feared him now laughed at him. Children threw stones. Leaders mocked his God publicly. They believed they had defeated not only a man, but a promise. But something was happening quietly. His hair began to grow back. Not overnight. Not dramatically. Slowly. And with it, something deeper returned. Not arrogance, not rage. Clarity. Strength without purpose destroys. Strength surrendered to purpose transforms. On the day of their great celebration, the Philistines gathered in their temple, thousands above. Rulers below, below. Music echoing through stone halls, and in the center, blinded and shackled, stood Samson. They positioned him between two central pillars for entertainment. The strongest man reduced to spectacle. Laughter filled the air. They called for him to perform. Tu amuse ti. E amuse tu. Amuse te. To prove he was nothing without their permission, Samson asked the servant guiding him to let him feel the pillars, just to rest against them. His hands touched cold stone. For the first time in his life, he did not ask for personal victory. He did not ask for revenge for his pride. He prayed quietly, "Remember me, not for fame, not for ego, just for one final moment of alignment with the purpose he was born into." Strength returned not like wildfire, but lightweight, controlled, focused. He pushed. Stone trembled. Laughter turned to confusion, then fear. The pillars cracked. The ceiling groaned. And in one final act, the man who had lost everything fulfilled the mission he had ignored for years. The temple collapsed. Dust swallowed the sound of celebration. In his death, Samson defeated more of his enemies than he had in his life. But the story is not about destruction. It is about the cost of misused potential, about how talent without character collapses, about how calling without discipline Samson's life was a warning wrapped in power. He could lift gates, but not resist temptation. He could defeat armies, but not conquer impulse. And yet, even after failure, even after blindness, purpose was not cancelled. Some stories end in victory. Some end in redemption. Samson's ended in both and another. He teaches that strength is not measured by what you can break, but by what you can control. That your greatest enemy rarely stands outside you, and that even when you waste years of your potential, one decisive moment can still define your legacy. Because the strongest man who ever lived was never the one who tore a lion apart. It was the one who, in darkness, finally understood what his strength was for.